parallel of these two lines. Now to find the lines, right, how many points do you need to create a line?
2.
2. So 2 points make a line. 2 points make a line. Now I don't know if they're positive or negative or anything yet. So our first step here is to create the line. We have to find the line of the equation. Okay? So, in order to find the line of the equation, we need to first find the slope. Okay? We cannot even touch this one. So we are going to start with just this one. Okay? Let's just worry about this one. So, find the slope. How do you find the slope? M equals y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. Or, flip it, smack it. Okay? So, I take and I flip it. What do I mean by that? Well, y's go on top. Okay? Y's over x's. So I flip it so that this goes down. So I got 4 over 1. And I flip this one so I got 7 over 5. So that's my flip part. Okay? And then I smack it. What that means is, like I tell my daughter, somebody grabs you from behind, okay? You flip around and you smack them in the face, you smack them down below, and you run. Okay? So, we're going to smack them in the face, smack them in the groin, and run. Okay? So, really easy. Okay? Now, none of these were negatives, right? On that first equation. Perfect. So, now I just do the math. This equals the slope. That equals m. Okay? So, 4 minus 7, minus 3. 1 minus 5, minus 4. So, m equals 3 over 4. Okay? Now, what do I need to write a slope? What do I need to write the equation of a line? What equation do I need?
So they're not negative? Negative 3, negative 4?
No, because what's a negative divided by a negative?
Okay.
Positive. Okay? Good question. Okay, so what's the equation I'm using? What's my base equation? Goddess equation. Equation I need to write a line.
Flip it and smack it.
The line, the equation for a line.
Y equals mx plus b.
Thank you. I have to have that equation. That's my base. Without my base, I'm flat on my belly. I can't go anywhere. So I got to get to my base before I can move. Okay? So, I got my base.
Why did we go minus 7 minus, how come we didn't go add? Because it's y2 minus?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's the point of smacking. Smacking is a negative kind of connotation.
Sometimes.
So, you know. So, well, the thing is if somebody's doing something negative to you and you smack them, then that's a positive, because negative and a negative. Anyway, all right, let's back to the equation. So now I've got to plug in my values. I have an m, right? It's 3 over 4. Do I have an x and a y? Sure. Pick one. I'm going to pick this one. Why do I pick that one? 2 reasons. 1, it's first. 3, it's got the lowest numbers. I like to work with lowest numbers. Okay? Because they're easier numbers. That's all. So you just pick one. It's this one. So I'm going to plug in. Remember, I have x, I have y. So I'm going to plug in a 4 equals 1 plus b. I still don't know what b is. But I do know what x, y, and m are. So now it's just a regular equation. I just got to do it. So 4 equals 3/4 plus b. Okay? So what do? I subtract 3/4. I subtract 3/4. and I get 3 1/4 equals B. So what does that tell me? Well, I have B and I have M, and I know that Y equals MX plus B, right?
Y equals 3/4.
Is that
So-
a Y or is that a 4?
It's a 4. Okay, so Y equals 3/4 X
Plus 3
plus 3 1/4. Okay, so that's my first equation. Okay, but that's just the first part. Now, I need to write an equation for this one. And that equation has to be parallel. So, my parallel Y equals M, so my Y parallel is going to be Y equals MX plus B, right? So what's the thing with parallelism?
That your two line slopes have to be the same, but the intercept can't be the same.
That's right. So the slope, my parallel slope, M parallel, has to equal M. Therefore, M parallel equals 3/4. So I know what my slope is. That's the cool part. Now I have this equation, right? I know what my slope is. Right? So use it. Okay? So, again, I need to write an equation for the line. How do I write the equation for the line?
Y equals MX plus B.
Okay? So, what point am I going to use then? Because I need M and I need a point, a set of points. So, which points? I have to use these. Why?
Because it's a letter.
Because, yeah, the other one's got a letter. That's not going to help me. That'll give me two variables, and we don't know how to solve two variable equations yet. Next chapter, we'll work on that. But right now, we don't have that. So, we plug these in. It's easy. So, I have X and Y. So, I have -3 equals 3/4 times X, which is -2, plus B. Okay? So, I have -3 equals -6/4 plus B, which is -3 equals -3/2 plus B. So what am I going to do? Add 3/2, add 3/2, or in other words, wouldn't that just be 1.5? Right? So I'm really adding 1.5, 1.5.
How did you get 1.5?
How did I get 1.5?
Divided 3/2.
3/2.
1.5.
So I took 3/2 that I was going to add, and I changed it. 2 goes into 3 once, with 1 left over. So, and the reason why I'm doing that is because now when I add this to this, you know, or what you could do is go, well, if I'm going to do that, then I have to change this to have the same thing. Okay? So I have to have this as 2/2. So what I have is -6/2. Is that the same as -3? Equals -3/2 plus B. So then what I have is I add 3/2, I add 3/2, and what I get is I'm subtracting the 3 from the 6, and what do I get? 3/2. Negative though, right? So therefore, I get negative 3 over 2 equals B, or negative 1 1/2 equals B. Okay, so I have my B. I have my M. So y equals mx plus b. Y equals 3/4 x plus minus 1 1/2, right? Okay, let's write that. Y equals 3/4 x plus 3 1/4 is parallel to y equals 3/4 x minus 1 1/2. And so we have that, right? Are we done? Now, for your test, that's about as far as you'll have to go. But for this problem on your in your homework, you have to go one step further. What do you have to do?
Find u.
Find u. Yeah. So, to find u, I need to plug in these 2 points. Remember, this is x and y, and it goes into this equation. So I have 3 equals 3/4 times u minus 1 1/2. Okay? So when I add 1 1/2 to both sides, right? So first I add 1 1/2. What do I get? 4 1/2 equals 3/4 u. Then what do I do? Well, let's change it to 2 times 4 is 8, plus 1 is 9. So 9 over 2 equals 3 over 4u, right? So all we're doing is changing it to a number, a mixed fraction, right? And then what we're doing is multiplying it by what? How do I get rid of the 3/4?
Divide. Divide? No.
Multiply, divide by what? The reciprocal. By doing the reciprocal, 3 cancels the 3, the 4 cancels with the 4, and I'm left with u. So the 3 goes into 9 3 times, and the 2 goes into 4 twice, right? And what do I get? I probably should have canceled the 2's out with the green so you could see it's a different step. Okay? So then what do I get? 2 times 3, which is 6 equals u. Six equals u, baby. Okay, that's it.
I got a headache.
That was fun. Questions?
Yeah.
What?
How do
You got
do
1 minute.
that? You take.
Question? Question? Question?
I'm behind on the notes.
Okay. Well,
How'd you put the U in there? I didn't get how you put the U. You just
put the u in?
no. What problem do you start from to put the U in? Because
You
equation.
have to put it in this equation, which is your second equation, which is this equation.
Which is the final equation of the.
Yeah.
So okay, I get it now.
Okay. Good?